Hi, I'm Julia at the Greenwell Springs branch of the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, and today I'm going to show you how to custom wrap a pair of earbuds using embroidery floss. You'll want to pull the wrapping papers off of your skeins as you use them. I'm going to start out with the purple. And your colors will be different. But this is what I've got for me. You're probably going to want to unravel the entire skein, trying not to get it tangled. And now I'm going to wrap it back up, but only around 2 fingers. I want it small so that I can guide it through my knots more easily. Be careful when you're doing this not to do it too tight. You don't want to cut off circulation in your fingers. And there I go. Now I'm going to pull this off of my fingers carefully and unravel about 1 foot to start working with. You can put these to the side. I'm going to start down here at the plug end of my earbud cord. I'm going to start by tying a knot around the cord. Over, around, and through. And you want this tail to come upward. We want to secure that as close to the bottom of the cord as we can. And we're going to start the rest of our knotting. I'm going to hold on to this. Now, when you're looking at it, what you're going to want to do is pull this a loop out on this side. We're going to pull this up so that it gets tied to the cord, this loose end. We'll pull that out. I'm going to bring the rest of your thread around underneath and pull it through. I'm going to make sure we've got that tied in. And it's going to pull into a knot down here at the bottom. All right, I'm doing it again. I've got the loop over on this side. I'm passing my ball of floss through. And I'm pulling it tight. Can you see the little knot? Let's keep going. We'll run a couple more. Make sure you bring your thread back around to this side. Make the loop over here. Bring it through around the back. And pull it tight. It's a lot easier when you're doing it facing you. Out, under, and pull. And you're going to start getting a series of knots Your knots, as you pull them tight, you want to butt them up against the previous knot so that they start spiraling around your cord in a nice, neat pattern. All right, I'm back. I finished with my purple skein, and you can see how it is spiraling all the way up the sides. See if we can get a good look there at how the knots have made this spiral around the cord. You can see I've got my ends here. This is just at the last knot that I did. I'm going to take my next color. I'm going to tie it around, much like I just how I started the first one. Bring the whole thing through. And we're going to make a knot, and we're going to make sure that this loose end is tied up right in there. And I'm going to start knotting around again. Pull it far over to that side. Bring it through the loop. Hold these tight while you pull your knot tight. And again, we're just going to keep going around and around both of these loose ends. Okay. Make sure the loop is around the loose ends. Pull it tight. Continuing your spiral of knots. As you're knotting, you may occasionally want to turn it over. And as you're pulling tight on this side, sort of squish the other side down a little to match. See if I can show you a little from this angle. So I'm getting close to the end of the single wire, close to where the lines split for the earbuds. And when I get to this split, I want to go off into two different colors. Now, what I could do is I could just keep going up, tie it off here, and start each line with a different color. One here, just by knotting it at the base and starting it off like we did at the very beginning, down here. However, I would like to wrap this. So what I'm going to do is, got about an inch left. I'm going to lay both colors along my wire. I'm going to start knotting around them. This is a different technique for changing colors other than the knotting one color to the next that we used going from purple to gray. I'll bring this around back so that it's not as visible. Pull that knot really tight, keep going around. I'm going to keep wrapping around until all the way up to here. When I get to about here, about halfway from where I started wrapping the two colors in to the top here, I'm going to snip these two tails off as close as I can without cutting either the gray thread or the wire. And then I'm going to tug them up just a smidge and smooth that down so that you can't see them at all. Now, I'm going to keep tying up just a little more. So now I'm going to pull. So I've got my black and white threads held together. I'm going to switch. So I've got the gray thread going up this way. And I'm going to start knotting with these two. All right. I'm going to trim my gray thread there. Knot again. One more time. Try and tuck in the very last of that gray. And now I'm just going to wrap this middle bit. Not knotting, just wrapping. Very tightly. Going to make sure. Now I've got to the top of that. Get these lovelies untangled. I'm going to let that keep going around. Separate out my cords. I'm going to start knotting up one of my cords with the black. Pull it down super close to the split. Get it started on this side. And tuck this thread up. And I'm going to come around and start knotting on the other cord. Again, pull it down as close to the base as you can. Again. Now the downside of doing it like this is that I have to pay attention to this side of the cord and this thread and make sure it doesn't get tangled with my working thread. But I like getting my little mid piece there wrapped. Again, you can simply start each color right at the bottom of the separating cords. Pull your tail up and not around it. Or you can do it like this and get it started before the split. You just keep going up like we've been doing this entire time. All right, so I'm nearly done. You can see I have knotted all the way up one cord to the end of the earbuds and tied it off. And now I am almost done with my other earbud. Just going to do these last few knots, and when you're getting this close to the earbud, you want to be extra careful, probably starting around here, that you're not pulling on the earbud itself when you are pulling your knot tight, because you can damage your earbuds that way. Actually, now that I'm this close, I can pull out just a length of thread and cut it off so that I don't have to work with that big ball of thread for every knot anymore. All right, so now that I am right up under the earbud, I'm going to take and make a loop and start just like normal. And then before I pull it tight, I'm going to go through again. Now I pull this bit tight, not super tight, but most of the way there. And then I can pull that tight. So I've got my knots there. And I'm going to trim it close, but not exactly right on top. If you have a drop of glue or clear nail polish or colored nail polish, you can put a drop of that right on that cut end to keep it to make sure that it does not unravel. It should stay, but that will lock it in place. And there we go. There we go. We have a complete custom earbud wrap. And this will help keep your earbuds from tangling. And that looks cool. So, there we go.